Hello, I'm Dan and this is James.
Hello.
We're from Wargames Illustrated and we are going to unbox this new game from Warlord Games. It's called Combined Arms and everything's just dropped down to the bottom.
Yep.
But it's new to both of us, but you've got a slight advantage in so much as you interviewed the two guys who created it, didn't you?
I did, yes.
So for the latest issue of Wargames Illustrated magazine, let's not forget to highlight that.
Yep.
There's an interview in there with Alessio and Jack, who are the designers behind the game. But without further ado, let's lift off the lid and see what we've got inside. Ooh. So a fully boxed game, it says on the cover that it's a full campaign system, but also a standalone board game as well.
Yes.
So let's have a look at some of the components. First one's being the plastic models, which are all the playing pieces, I guess.
Yeah, they're the different counters that you'll use in the game, and they represent the units you push about, some of the actions you can take, and then also these are the objectives in the middle.
Right, okay, so what have we got specifically? A plane as in literally...
Yeah, I mean, you've got your air, your sea, your armour, and your infantry are represented, and there's two different colours of plastic, and then there's essentially a neutral one, so that's the Axis and the Allies, and then this neutral one is more for the objectives. If they've not been taken by a side,
okay,
they remain neutral.
So you're wrestling over the grey ones to turn it either green or beige, whatever colour that is. Right, okay, cool. So they're all the figures, 3 sprues of models.
Okay, and it is a board game, so obviously you get the kind of board gamey type pieces that you might not get in your standard tabletop war game. So this is like the orders board.
Okay.
And this is how the players control what they're doing in a turn.
Mm-hmm.
So you place your counters on here to determine what number of land units or sea units or air units you can move. And if they've got this sort of red and yellow dots around them, that means you can make concealed moves with them.
Right.
So to do that, you actually move multiple counters. One of them's like a fake and one of them's the real one, and your opponent doesn't know which.
Right.
Land units usually move just 1 hex on the boards, whereas the sea orders, they can move a lot more. I think it's 4 hexes that they can move, so they're very agile.
Mm-hmm.
But then things like roads can speed up your land units as well, and the blitz counters, which are these little things here.
You
can assign a blitz to move extra as well. And you can also use your orders to seize initiative.
Right.
And then this just has a sort of how to roll the dice and what you need, because there are dice in the game as well.
Yes, there are some dice rattling around there. There are also some cards as well. So
yeah.
Two different types of cards, big ones and little ones.
Yeah,
basically.
big ones, little ones.
And do you know the difference between the two?
Yeah, one's twice the size of the other one.
Oh, well done,
No, so this small deck, you basically mix these together depending on the size of game you're playing, and you have objectives on these.
Right.
So you'll gradually reveal these cards, and that's when these objectives become important in the game.
Okay.
Once they've been seized then, because these cards are discarded, it means that you don't ever want to be just completely putting all your units into one objective and then holding it, because you're then going to have to move and try and seize another objective.
Right.
Eventually these are reshuffled back in, but they won't become important until later in the game. So it creates quite an interesting kind of dynamic where you're always having to keep your units on the move.
Okay, right.
And then there's other extra things in here, like different bonus cards, warrior spirit, economic might, and they all have in-game effects that will impact on certain types of your units you're pushing about.
Right. How about the big uns?
Yeah, so these ones, you'll see some of them have got the names of other Warlord Games written on them.
Bolt Action, Victory at Sea.
Yep, and there's Blood Red Skies.
Yeah, Blood Red Skies, okay.
And Cruel Seas as well.
Right.
So some of these ones, if you are playing this as part of a combined campaign to use with these game systems, these will be in your game.
Right.
So you will then take these and play out the battles on the hexes in your chosen Warlord game.
Right.
If you're not using those, you just discard those from the deck, and these all the non-Warlord ones, they just affect the board game actions.
Right, okay, so this one, for Bolt Action, chosen battlefield, play before a land battle. You may choose a scenario for this battle.
Yeah.
Okay, right, so that gives you...
Yeah, they're simple modifiers. It'll be things like you can do a preliminary barrage with artillery. That might come from a naval stratagem, but plays into Bolt Action because you're bombarding from the sea.
Right, okay. Right, so let's put the cards to one side.
Yep.
And then we've got the operations board. which is double-sided, like most of the stuff.
So again, it's just another board gamey kind of way to control how the game plays. It's got the basics down there, and it makes the game pretty easy to pick up. Okay. Alessio was talking about this and how this is what Jack brings to things, because Alessio is quite an old school game designer, whereas Jack is much more of a board game passionate kind of guy. So they work really well together. I think Jack did the majority of the board game stuff, and then Alessio kind of brought his skills in the second half of the game, which is all the campaign stuff that ties to the Warlord games.
Okay, right, cool. So that's the operations board. Then we've got a lot of tokens and a punch-out board there.
Wow, drama. Hope you're watching that in 3D, because it would have been extra exciting.
Yeah, so they're all the things that go on the operations board.
And on your orders board as well.
Yeah, okay, cool. And then we've got the boards themselves, or the map boards.
The theatres of war.
Theatres of war. So yeah, we've got the Pacific there, then we've got the Eastern Front there, we've got North Africa and Northwest Europe as well.
So that one's pretty familiar. Probably the most famous combined operations operation.
Yeah, so this is your D-Day landings kind of area, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can see you've got like these slightly different coloured hexes here. So these are ones where you can deploy in for each side.
Right.
And then you'll place your objectives around areas of the board, and obviously you can put your land units on here, you can put your sea units here and here. Your air units start deployed off the table and will come on and fight each other in the skies.
Okay, right, cool, yeah. Okay, right, so yeah, all over the world we're going on.
Yeah, this one's maybe a bit too real in the present climate.
Yeah, it is a bit.
And then Guadalcanal is another really kind of iconic one.
Yeah. A nice thick material as well, it has to be said.
Yeah, even if you don't want to play the game, these are things that are going to be fantastic for doing campaigns in other ways as well, to be perfectly honest.
Couple of dice.
Yeah.
And then the rule book.
Yes, which is pretty concise. Like the front 20 pages or so are the basics of how the board game element plays, and then all the rest is just about modifying it to work with your chosen Warlord game system.
Right,
you could use all of them, or you could just pick one of them and fight specific battles.
Right. Okay. So they're trying to cover all areas with it, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. And I think Alessio said he had some consultation with people like Andy Chambers, who actually has made some of the other games involved. And Alessio knows bolt action. I mean, that's his baby, so no problems there. But so yeah, it's got the buy-in of all the different authors of the other games as well. So it should work really well together.
Okay, right, yeah, another nice comprehensive set of rules. Again, nice material, lovely, laid out really nicely as well. I think it looks like it's very easy to follow. So there you go. That's about it, I think, isn't it? Combined Arms from Warlord Games. That's the whole box emptied out, and now we'll put it all back in before we have a game some point in the future.
Yeah, and while we do that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, or we'll make you put things back in the box.
Okay, right. See ya.
This video has been brought to you by WI Prime, Wargames Illustrated magazine's online members club. View more videos or find out more about WI Prime by following these links.